Kirawa, an agrarian border town in Gwaza local government area of Borno State, was thrown into panic on Saturday night after suspected Boko Haram terrorists invaded and kidnapped a young schoolgirl. News Central confirmed that the kidnapped young girl, Aisha Mohammed Ajah, had just completed her junior secondary school examinations before her adoption. The terrorists reportedly arrived on motorcycles, heavily armed, and began shooting indiscriminately before setting houses and vehicles on fire, where they exchanged fire with the armed forces in Kirawa. While people now go about their normal day-to-day activities, community leaders have called on both the Borno State government and the Nigerian military to intensify efforts to ensure more security men patrols in border towns, warning that the continued absence of rapid response could embolden further attacks. Security expert Dickson Osajie joins us now for more on this developing story in Borno State. Also joining us is Yakubu Mabi Ali. He is the chairman of Kirawa Development Association. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, gentlemen, please can you unmute?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, can you tell us, can we start with you? Can you tell us exactly what really happened in the community?
Actually, what has happened in the community, you know, Borno State government, under the leadership of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, about 8 years now, our people were displaced. He returned or resettled our people back to the town. They were doing their own business. Then recently, yesterday, this thing happened, that the Boko Haram, they came to Kirawa around 9 to 12, according to information that I received from my people, that they burned houses, they burned vehicles, and most of our people, they fled to Cameroon as at that time. But now, our people now, they have returned back to the community. Though, up to now, some of them are still scared of what has happened. It seems to us they are now trying to sabotage the effort of Borno State government that he is doing. So, to at least to make our people understand that this situation, government will control it, we are pleading to the federal government so that, you know, presently in Kirawa, we have joint task force. So we are pleading to Nigerian government to now either establish brigade so that, you know, our people will continue with their farming, with their business that they are doing, because it is a border area. Once if that border area is not well controlled, it will lead to porosity to the country. That is why we are now pleading on behalf of my people to now establish a brigade so that if our militaries are there, you know, all these type of things, they will control it and our people will continue with their normal business. And most of our people are farmers. They will continue going to their farms. So this is exactly what is happening. Now, some of our people are trying to, are scared. Maybe the people will come back. So that is the situation now. But presently, they are there in the town. Though they have abducted this lady, Aisha Mohammed Ajah. You know, she just recently wrote her JSS examination, and her father is a peasant farmer. So we are pleading to federal government, state government, philanthropists, and whoever that can come to the aid of our people so that to rescue this lady.
Yakubu, can you tell us how the community is responding to this shock at the moment?
Well, the community actually is very pathetic what has happened. Because if they burn somebody's house, the bullets that they fire, you know, it makes people to be scared. And most of our people, they run away to Cameroon. It was later on that they came back.
Okay, let's move over to Mr. Dickson. Mr. Dickson, let's look at the big picture. How would you assess the current state of insecurity in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Very disturbing. While trying to ascertain what's happening in Jos Plateau State, another fresh attack is taken on in Borno State. That's a clear indication that these criminal elements have taken over the Nigerian state with criminal activities from the east, west, and north. I was watching an incident that transpired in America some few days ago, and the whole community was condoned by the security agents. The army, the navy, the police, the air force, they all came to rescue these people from an active shooter. But here in our country, what happened is that like 2-3 days from now, everything will go as normal, and everybody will go back to their businesses without going after these criminal elements. You know, crime strive, crime flourish when in the absence of punishment. You know, and I see this as a failure on our area of punishment, the judicial system, on our criminal justice system, I mean to say. So, from what I'm correctly and right, I think this criminal element, they don't live in the space, they don't live in the air. They live within the territorial space of Nigeria, within the 9,223 square kilometers landmarks of Nigeria, and we need to also allow. We don't need to let them, you know, take shelter after committing this crime. For example, in Borno, 3 months ago, they killed a lot of people. The presidency was involved. The National Security Advisor paid a visit there. In July 25th, they also carried out an attack. And of recent as well, a few days ago, they also carried out an attack. And now another incident is happening in Borno State. That tells you that they are capitalizing on the vulnerability of our security agents. And it's time right now for us to start looking at state policing. So we'll be able to police the entire region, the entire landmarks of this great nation, and go to the enemy's enclaves and take them out from that environment. So they don't come back to the city, kill our people, go back to their normal state shelter. I think it's right time for us to create state policing so we can go out a full momentum against these criminal elements.
Dickson, from your experience, what are the main drivers behind the persistence of, of insurgency in the northeast and banditry in other parts of the country?
Well, there are many driving factors that have precipitated the occasion of this crime. First of all, in 2009, when Boko Haram came into existence, they claimed that local Western education is a sin, and that they are fighting mantra, and they were using the arms and ammunition manufactured by the Western region, Western by the West, against the Nigerian people, yet claiming Western education is a sin. And as time goes on, this metamorphosed into a business enterprise. What we're seeing right now is business enterprise from our own perspective, because I see no reason why you go after these people, kill children, kill women, kill Nigerian people, and kill our military as well, because as it stands, the Nigerian military have lost thousands of soldiers from the inception of these criminal activities. Now, if we look at the social factor, in exception of the religious factor, which I've just said, the social factors, I think what has, been giving these guys the energy to carry on activities is in the area of political will. I don't think we have the political will to eliminate this threat. And 2027 election is coming. You will see our political leaders, making use of most of these thugs, criminal elements in snatching boxes, ballot boxes. And when you engage criminal elements or thugs in an election period, that tells you that you're satisfying crime. So at the end of election, most of these guys, what they do is that they go back to criminal act because they believe that our leaders can use them, to disorganize election. That means crime is okay. So in a section of the political will, for example, we talk about economic will, the unemployment. What has been giving Boko Haram the momentum to stand our military is their fighters. And how did they get these fighters? They get these fighters from those unemployed. And I tell you, and I've said it on many fora, that a jobless person or a jobless child or a child on the street is a potential threat to the government. So the government is not even looking at area of unemployment because most of these people are very weak to withstand the hardship of this great country. And when Boko Haram sees this vulnerability, they capitalize on this vulnerability and ensure that they get these fighters to come and fight our people. That is in the area of unemployment. And another area I can see is that land grabbing and also territory grabbing. Most of these guys don't believe that, okay, a certain region don't deserve to be in this space, let's go and wipe them out. But in conclusion, I can tell you for free that the driving factors and the political factors, the social factors as well, because our government can tell you as well, they are not upholding the social contract between them and the citizens. We've been paid by this government, we've been paid by the previous government, and we'll also be paid by our leaders. And I tell you that if we want to get this right, Nigeria needs to go back to the drawing board and reassess the situation.
Okay, let me move on to Yakubu. Yakubu, can you tell us what personal efforts are the people in the community doing to safeguard themselves from, from all this attack pending when they get response from the government?
Actually, the community, we have civilian JTF, we have hunters and other members of the community. They are the one now even trying to calm the people in the community because they find it very difficult to go far away because they are scared of what is happening. They cannot go to their farms. So that is why we are now pleading to government and whoever that can do, so that if they establish brigade there, the people, they will be scared of even attempting to come to Kirawa. And being that it is a border, it will be as a challenge to our country to see that our country, our border is porous. There is no, it's only joint task force are there. We don't have Nigerian military are not there.
Mr. Yakubu, we also hear about, intelligence failures. How big of a role does that play in the inability to prevent attacks before they happen?
Please come again.
I said we often hear about intelligence failures. How big of a role does that play in the inability to prevent the attacks before they happen?
Well, this one, I cannot just say something about it because it is a security issue. So it's only the security that they can now give more light on this issue.
Okay. Dickson, let me throw the same question to you. Can you tell us, what you know? We've heard about the intelligence failure. How big of that, can he play a role in the inability to prevent attacks before they happen?
Fantastic question. I tell you, there's no country in the world that can survive without intelligence. Intelligence is the lifeline of every great nation, and that is what it plays out, What does it entail? Getting information from the enemy camps, trying to ascertain the enemy's plan, when they want to apply, when are they taking out, when are they trying to, carry out the attack, the time, the place, where. That has to deal with our technological factors, whereby we'll be able to, go after them to forestall their plans. But I tell you of late that our people, our military are suffering from intelligence gathering, and most of this community don't want to give our security agents intelligence anymore because there was a time where a community was ravaged by Boko Haram simply because they claimed that those communities were passing information to our security agents. And when Boko Haram came to that community to, sack everywhere, the military or the police were not there to save them. So now these guys, they feel comfortable in the hands of most of these criminal elements because they don't want to, be killed in the area of passing information. And that's why the Nigerian government also needs to look within, because as it stands, the military, the police, other security agents have been infiltrated by these criminal elements in the essence of what's it called, repentant militant or repentant terrorist group being a notion that was carved by the Nigerian state. And I tell you that crime is crime. Killing a Nigerian or killing any person, there's no room for repentance. You must pay the full wrath of the law. So for us to get intelligence properly, the National Intelligence Agency, the DSS, and other intelligence networks within the Nigerian state needs to come together and have an effective command control center. Then they'll be able to disperse intelligence to the military system, to the policing system, to go after these criminal activities. And I tell you that the security measures in Nigeria have been defeated because, according to Observer for Peace, the founder of modern policing says that the best way for you to measure the effectiveness of the policing system, which has to do with the military, the navy, the army, the air force, whatever the case may be, is the absence of crime. But here in Nigeria, we're not experiencing any absence of crime. We have been, we're suffering from criminal activities every day. And I tell you that Nigeria is becoming a criminogenic nation. So intelligence failure is one of the major factors. In exception of intelligence failure, I tell you, territorial reinforcement is one of the major factors as well, because where are the manpower? How can we man?
Mr. Dickson, I would have to cut you short. I will have to cut you short because of time. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this afternoon.
Oh, thank you very much. I was ready to.